mentioned, but we don't have anything underneath that. Anybody here dying to speak out? All right. Hearing no volunteers to give a brief speech, we will move on to our consent agenda. And I just need a motion to approve.
Madam Mayor, I move we approve the consent agenda.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded that we approve our consent agenda. That includes our approval of minutes, appropriations, and council correspondence. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. All right. Reports of mayor and council. Mr. Wetta.
I have nothing.
Mr. Valentine.
I had the unique experience of watching our EMTs at work for yesterday around 3 o'clock. And boy, these people are like a bunch of soldiers. They really do a tremendous job. And I think Chief A is doing a real good job in getting the training for these people. And my hand goes off to Becca, Danny, Justin, and Chuck. They really work with this one. It's just incredible to watch them. They just, the domino theory. So thank you all for everything they do. You know, you need to, it may be a business to a lot of people, but it's the fact that they're saving lives, and that's a wonderful thing. Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Valentine. And I think you're spot on. They don't get pats on the back enough, so. Mr. Butts.
I have nothing.
Mrs. Courtney.
I don't have anything to say. No.
Mrs. Holly.
Just want to remind everybody that Sherry's Army has our first cleanup of 2017 this coming Saturday. We're looking for volunteers. If you would like to participate, meet us at the Impact Bank parking lot at 8 a.m. Saturday morning. All you need to do is just bring some gloves and yourself.
Did you find your dump truck?
We're working on it.
Okay. So if anybody has a truck that dumps, let us know. All right, Mr. Eder.
I have nothing.
All right. Well, with that being said, I just want to make a quick comment. I had the pleasure of hosting about, I don't know, what would you say, Shane, how many kiddos were here at City Hall this past week?
30 plus.
Yes, we had about 30 plus fifth graders from Eisenhower Elementary, and they are learning all about government, and they walked all the way from Eisenhower here to City Hall so that they could see how this all works, and they had a great time. I appreciate some of the department heads, and also our city manager Shields stepped in and helped host this group, and I just appreciate it very much. While I was visiting with their teacher, I found out that at least 2 of our elementary schools have gone to our tire lady, I don't recall her name right now, and have taken some of the tires off of her property to use for school projects. So I applaud those schools. They saw the story, obviously, or heard about it, and so they've gone out and they're going to use, I think Eisenhower said they're going to use some of the tires for planting and some other different things. So, you know, I think that's great, and I love when the community works together to solve problems and issues like this without, you know, us having to say, we will do this or we will do that. And I think that's great, and hopefully the other elementaries and maybe some other folks that might need some old tires will follow suit. So, all right. Other than that, I just wanted to say happy spring. Hope everybody had a good Easter. All right, reports of city officials. Our first item is the special alcohol and drug fund allocations. Who's going to handle that?
Well, the Special Alcohol and Drug Advisory Board, this is an annual meeting of that advisory board to review requests and then determine to bring a full recommendation to you, the full council, for disbursement of those funds. That is typically the details handled by the city clerk, finance director, and so I'll turn that over to Ms. Merico.
We did meet on last Thursday at 5:30. We had Mayor Hansel and Councilmember Cordy there with us, and the applications were the same as last year, the same organizations. Went pretty fast. We do have enough money to fund them all for the amounts that they asked for. The total recommendation of funding is $16,350, as you can see in your agenda. And then we did hear a little bit about the drug and alcohol programs that they are sponsoring and how things are going in the community, which I thought was really impressive.
We
And
have
eye-opening.
$90. Don't we have $90 left over?
There is a little bit left over, 93, I think, in case something else comes along. Of course, it is subject to the states setting their budget. The last 2 quarters, it may have to be adjusted, but right now, it looks like we're gonna be fine with the amount of money.
It definitely was eye-opening hearing some of the challenges that those groups face, but then also the positive strides that they have made too. So they certainly do use this money for the betterment of our community, so.
We need a motion to accept the ones that we recommended in the agenda. Do you want me to read the ones that?
Why don't you just go ahead and do that, yeah.
Okay. Big Brothers Big Sisters, they asked for and we're recommending $2,500. Mirror Incorporated asked for $3,500, and that's what we're recommending. Project Prom, $1,500. Red Ribbon Committee, $1,250. Sumner County Community Drug Action Team, $2,000. Sumner Mental Health Center, they said any amount, and we matched them with Mirror Incorporated, because they are similar, at $3,500. The Wellington PD, $600. And the Wellington Recreation Commission, $1,500.
And just a clarification, even though like Mirror Inc. is I think they're based out of Harvey County, they do offer services here in Sumner, and that money is to be used here in Sumner and Wellington area, so. So do I have a motion to approve?
Mayor, I move we approve these distribution.
All right, do I have a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the special alcohol and drug fund allocations as presented. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. All right, so the next step, Carol, is they'll go to the state for approval.
No, they don't have to go to the
Oh,
state.
okay, I
That's
got you.
just, we have to be sure we get the money from the state in those last 2 quarters, see if
Oh,
their
right,
budget's
right.
changing.
I don't know what I was thinking, sorry.
Yeah, it's ready. We will send letters out now awarding the funds, and then we'll pay them quarterly.
Okay, very good.
Yeah. Comment. The money coming from the state is actually what is collected from alcohol taxes. So as long as people keep drinking,
And we can help those that do.
yeah,
Yes.
that need to stop.
But do so responsibly.
Yes.
All right. All right, we have no public hearing tonight, no ordinances, so that moves us on to resolutions. And our first resolution is a resolution approving and accepting a bid and authorizing the city manager to execute an agreement with Cruz Corporation of Wichita, Kansas for the removal and replacement of exhaust ductwork for the wastewater treatment plant headworks room, on-site lift station and off-site lift station in the amount of $11,740.
Opening 2 key items of information, it is a budgeted expense, I mean, a planned expense, and the bid did come in within the budget amount, under the budget amount. With that, I'll let Mr. Newberry address any other details.
Okay, so basically this is the exhaust system at our wastewater treatment plant, the 2 lift stations and then the on-site headworks in. So, for some reason, the original structure was put in with galvanized metal. It did have a coating on it. That coating has been damaged through the years, chipped, whatever, and then hydrogen sulfide gas gets in there and just works on the metal. There is no exhaust there right now. It is gone. It is totally ate up and gone. So literally during the summer, we open the doors to let the gases out so that the guys can stand work in there. It has also created some issues with some of the other equipment there. It's highly corrosive gas, and so it damages some of the other equipment. We got millions of dollars worth of equipment in an adjacent room. So we're recommending to get the ductwork replaced. We're looking at going PVC or stainless steel, which should help, if not totally prevent, the issue as far as the Consulting Engineers, PDC, and they concur that this is the direction we need to go. So we submitted bids to 3 companies, received 2 of them back as shown in the memo, and we're recommending going with Cruise Corporation for the $11,740.
Okay. Yes, Mr. Edgar?
You said PDC or stainless. When do you, how are you gonna make that determination?
It's gonna be kind of a combination of the two, depending on
Well,
how.
you have a
we
location.
apply it. Yeah, yeah. Sorry.
And you're satisfied that this, what they bid on is what we need? Because, you know, I'm looking at these 2 bids and
Sure.
I'm always astounded how, I mean, the other one is 24,500, which makes me nervous.
Both companies came down and looked at the facilities, so we feel confident that.
They knew what they were bidding on.
Yes.
And, I mean, you can measure the.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Did they outline in their bids, like,
Yes.
so I'm assuming probably the one that's higher, like it's stainless, more stainless than PVC?
You know, I'd have to look back at them as far as quantities on them, but I would assume that was the case, yes.
All right.
What was the budget amount, budgeted?
$16,000.
Make a motion that we move forward with the bid with the Cruise Corporation.
Okay.
I second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded that we approve this resolution, approving and accepting this bid from the Cruise Corporation of Wichita for the removal and replacement of our ductwork at the wastewater treatment plant. Madam Clerk, could you please do a roll call, please?
Mrs. Holling,
Yes.
Mrs. Cordy,
Yes.
Mr. Butts,
Yes.
Mr. Valentine,
Yes,
Mr. Wetta,
Yes.
Mr. Ecker.
Yes.
6 affirmative votes for Resolution 5815.
Awesome, okay. The next item we have is a resolution authorizing the city manager to execute an agreement with Collection Bureau of Kansas Incorporated, CDK of Topeka, Kansas, for collection services for the city of Wellington, Kansas Utility Billing Department. Mr. Shields, I take it you're gonna have this, and we have our guest here.
I'll certainly open. This was discussed, brought to you at a work session. The CBK, Collection Bureau of Kansas, the consensus was to proceed with this, so that's what we have done. Ms. Miracle, handled most of this as being to the utility billing department. We do have a representative CBK present, Mr. Hollins. So I'll turn it over to Ms. Miracle and then certainly Mr. Hollins if he has any added detail.
We used to have a company that was doing the collections, and they became inactive. They more or less quit coming around, and very little has been collected lately. Most of it's just gone through set off. And I had the total in here on our software alone. We have $1,008,343 that has not been collected in debt, that has been charged off to bad debt. So, and that does not include any of the hospital bills. That is just strictly our other customers.
Wow.
How old is this?
Well, we got our software in 2003, so it's been, anything that's been charged off since then has gone there. And we have collected some of it. And of course, it was set off if it is within the state and they have a refund, then we do get the payments. But if they move out of state or if they don't have a refund coming, we don't get anything, so.
Wow.
And that's one of the reasons Mr. Hollins has talked to us about this, and they will even do set-off for us, kind of free up the time in our office, as well as do other collections, such as garnishments, court cases. I mean, they will take charge of all of it. All of it can't be probably collected because in the older days, we didn't have social security numbers, which are the qualifying agent to be able to track someone. So we do have quite a few that we can turn in with social security numbers. We just need the approval to go ahead with it. And Mr. Hollins is here if you would like to ask him any questions. This is Chad Hollins from Topeka that Shane and I have been talking with.
Mr. Hollins, I would hate for you to drive all the way from Topeka and not at least address the council, so please tell us a little bit about your company or how long you guys have been in business.
Sure, absolutely. Thank you, Mayor. How's everybody doing?
Great.
Fantastic. Thank you for the introduction. My name is Chad Hollins with the Collection Bureau of Kansas. Is it okay if I don't stand right here? All right. We have actually, the Collection Bureau of Kansas was actually founded by a collection attorney who has been practicing for about 35, 36 years now. So as Ms. Miracle alluded to, the garnishment side of things, that's second nature for us. It just comes in inadvertently. Collection Bureau of Kansas actually evolved in 2000 and, it's about 2003 is when it came into fruition. So it's been around for about 13 to 14 years now too. The reason it really came about was some of our clients were basically asking, like the doctors and some of the dentists and stuff, hey, can you not garnish all of our customers when you're going after them? So they just wanted phone calls and letters being sent, kind of a less aggressive manner. But that being said, we are a one-stop shop. We try to make things, at least one of my goals has been to make things as efficient as possible for the clerks throughout the state. We represent over 50 cities, or actually up to 54 now, municipalities, 8 judicial districts, and a couple other counties. We're diversifying ourselves into county collections now, such as EMS, a few other things. And so, that being said, one of the things that we try to do too to make things more efficient, at least that I'm in the process of, is working with host software systems such as Encode 9, which is what Ms. Miracle uses there. So that way she can simply go run a report, drop it on our client portal. Go ahead, Mary.
No, that's great. I'm like, yay.
Yes, and basically that way a lot of other collection agencies require a specific format that it's being submitted in. You know, we're the vendor. We shouldn't be requesting that it be submitted in a specific way in order for us to utilize that information. We should be able to take that and manipulate it to however we need to get it into our system. So we do have those capabilities to make her daily operations that much more smoother. And that way she can get more of her projects accomplished here for the city.
That is awesome.
Yes, so,
Yes,
Well, I
Mr.
read
Ray.
a couple of your letters, KDHE, so you're pretty big, you've grown quite a bit.
yeah.
So is, how much, over $1 million? Is that, that's kind of, is that a lot for,
Over a 14-year period.
what were we doing for 14 years?
Not collecting
That's,
1.7.
my God.
Yeah.
I mean, Councilman Webb, that is some, but on our list, as in the file there that you have, there has a list of the clients that we represent. And a lot of times when I'm addressing some of the councils, you know, some of them are smaller cities and they say, hey, you know, we don't have that many, I don't think it would really be beneficial for us. Well, and then some of the bigger ones are, you know, can you handle? Yes, we definitely can handle the size. We have City of Topeka, multiple other large ones, City of Merriam up there in Kansas City.
Oh, yeah.
And then, yeah, that was one of our more frequent ones that just came on actually. Newton, multiple others, like I said.
Conservatively, $1 million, conservatively, 14 years, could you get maybe half? What do you think, just off the top of your head?
What I would say to anticipate on a recovery rate, and they're talking about utility debts, and utility debts traditionally are harder to recover, because a lot of times, you know, you already get to that point where you're shutting off services and everything like that, and usually the person's already skipped. They've gone out of town, out of state, possibly, wherever it may be. Whereas municipal court, they're coming through town, those ones are a little bit easier for us to go ahead and collect on. The recovery rate is traditionally higher on those. However, I would say if you go into it expecting a recovery rate of around 20%, you know, something's obviously better than nothing by all means, which has been the case here, not to pour salt in the wind or anything, but yeah, I would say if you can, you know, count on like a 20% recovery rate, but I will say for the city of Topeka, just last month, we stroked them a check for over $80,000 and have had a recovery rate over 40% for their municipal court, okay? We also do their utility, we do everything for them, parks and recs, utility, any type of debt that's owed for that city, we handle. It's a one-stop shop, same way with Junction City.
You don't have big guys that names in the valves or anything.
We just,
Yeah,
his
he didn't
cousins,
let- yeah.
his cousins are in the car, he said, they're in the car.
young Guido sitting in the car with a lot of times. No, just kidding there.
Gosh, Vince, that's such an original joke.
Yeah. But no, that being said though, I would like to go ahead and say this too. All of our calls are recorded. As far as all of our callers are from the state too. We have 8 different callers that are based there out of Topeka. Our call center is right there in our office. Same with our lawyers, they're based right there in our office too. If there was ever a situation where a citizen felt like they're treated like a second-class citizen, all it takes is for Carol to pick up the phone or shoot a quick email to us. We will fire right back a copy, as far as a recorded copy of that conversation to her in a WAV file format for her to be able to sit there and listen to. That way she has that peace of mind knowing that our callers, a lot of them we pull from Washburn University. Their tenure for the majority of them is over a year. Our tenure, we have a very strong one. It's very family oriented. And that being said, Darcy, our Vice President of Client Relations, she's been with us over 21 years. Tony, our Vice President of Operations, 23. I mean, I could go on and that, you know. Christine's been with us over 23 years too. Tina Stadler, she handles our bankruptcy and garnishment. She's been with us for over 10 years. Multiple other ones that have been with us over 10 years.
Sounds like you're well established, and I think it's maybe hopefully a good partnership.
Are you just in Kansas?
We actually represent the city of Winona, Missouri. We were entertaining the idea of expanding over there, but the way their collection laws are right now, as to the way that it restricts things and stuff, it's something that we're kind of working and lobbying on those to be changed to kind of how the Kansas laws are.
Wow,
Yes,
something
Is
in
there,
Kansas.
is there any statute limitations or whatever on these types of debts?
The municipalities are exempt of the statute of limitations. So to answer your question, no, there is not specifically for municipalities.
Awesome.
So they hear from you on a 14-year-old electric bill, they're a little bit surprised, aren't they?
Yeah, I recommend sending everything over to us, even if it's mission social or anything like that, because we have a very extensive skip tracing process that looks through all that stuff. We integrate with the National Change of Address and many other search engines.
So you're saying you might be able to find people that we can't really guide you to? Carol is saying we only have social security numbers for what?
Well, we have turned in, we have counts of $560,000 that we have set off, and they definitely have to.
That you can send to him immediately after we, or is that what you're saying?
Yeah, they will go there. I mean, they've already been turned in to set off, but
Oh,
they
okay.
will have notice of them too.
Okay. And we've already canceled the other contract that we had.
It wasn't really a contract, there's no dates in it, and like I say, they just kind of quit coming around. So.
Okay, well, that's not good.
Another thing that I'd like to point out too is I will have performance reviews as far as with Carol and Shane. If you'd like to join too, on a quarterly basis to begin with, and then after, I would say the first, we get down a little bit to maybe once every 6 months. It just depends on whatever they would like. You guys are the clients, I will deliver accordingly. But going over those metrics as far as how many they've turned over to us, what we've collected on, what we've found with skip tracing, how many we've proceeded on with legal, and all that stuff, I will go through accordingly with them. On the same token, it not only holds us accountable, but it also holds the client accountable for submitting stuff.
Okay.
I have another question.
Yeah.
The contract addresses evictions. This is a standard, I mean, we don't evict anybody because of we might turn them off.
It is a standardized contract for the most part,
You're not
yes.
dealing with evictions for us.
That is correct, it's not, so you don't have to worry about that section there. But yes, it is a standardized contract that's specifically written to encompass government collections, evictions, other regular retail type of collections too, as far as why you see the bank check collection in there too. So whether it's a grocer, because we represent the, basically Ball's Food Group, if you've heard of in St. Louis, they're clients of ours too, so we are in Missouri. So,
Oh. And the miscellaneous part that contradicts the part about interest to be shared 25% to client and 75% to agency, and I think earlier it said that you would keep all the interest, 100% of it.
That is correct. Section,
So that overrides,
correct. It does. We are willing to share that as an act of good faith with the city of Wellington there.
Any other questions or comments?
Well, just,
Sure, Mr.
okay,
Ballard.
and it's probably in here, what's the length of the contract?
Great question. If you, on the second page of it, section 6 identifies that it is for a 2-year, 24-month term. Now, section 7 takes precedence over that, basically overrides it, and it basically states that either party, whether it's the city of Wellington or us as the Collection Bureau of Kansas, can execute a termination with a 30-day written notice. We don't want to keep somebody in a venue or an atmosphere, some type of relationship that they do not want to be in. Because like a city that I was just talking to earlier, today I had a meeting with, like they said, they just stopped submitting stuff over to the people that they are teamed up with. And we would just rather go ahead and execute the termination and let each party go on their happy ways and maybe reconvene at a later point in time.
Mr. Valentine, does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank
All
you
right.
very much.
You're very, very welcome, Councilman.
Anybody else have any other questions, comments? Carol's recommendation is that we approve this resolution, right, Carol? Yes. And anything to make your job easier. Mr. Rudda, go ahead.
I move that we sign the contract and move on. I second that.
All right. It's been moved and seconded that we approve this resolution authorizing our city manager to execute this agreement with the Collection Bureau of Kansas and Mr. Hollins. Thank you so much. Madam Clerk, can you please do a roll call vote?
Mr. Etter,
Yes.
Mrs. Hawley,
Yes.
Mrs. Cordy,
yes,
Mr. Butts,
Yes.
Mr. Valentine,
Yes.
Mr. Webb.
Yes.
6 affirmative votes for Resolution 5816.
All right. Thanks again, Mr. Hollins, we appreciate, and yes, hopefully, we will be seeing some very positive reports from you.
We're gonna get right off to the races.
Okay. Our next item on our agenda is study items. We don't have anything there, but we do have the need for an executive session, it looks like.
okay, Madam Mayor, I move that we recess into executive session, to consult with an attorney for the public body or agency which would be deemed privileged in an attorney-client relationship to include the council, the mayor, Shane, our attorney,
And Mr. Hughes, Patrick Hughes is the specific attorney on the issue with you.
and Mr. Hughes,
And
Just
Jason
for a
also-
period.
Jason also,
and Jason, okay, for a period of
till 7:20.
20.
Okay,